Alvarez did nobody check him for no steroid. I said, he had quick hands, he would hit. I said, why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then...
You think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroid.
And what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids.
Some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for...
Boxing icon Evander Holyfield has stepped into the spotlight with a bold and highly charged statement, suggesting the possibility that Canelo Alvarez may have engaged in steroid use. His remarks come at a time when tensions are already running high in anticipation of the upcoming megaclash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Holyfield's choice to publicly raise this issue has ignited a wave of debate, fueling an intense firestorm of controversy throughout the boxing world. Fans, analysts, and insiders are now buzzing with speculation, as Holyfield's comments add another explosive layer to an already highly anticipated showdown.
Greatest Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. All those fucking dudes in that camp are doing.
Although Holyfield stopped short of making a direct accusation against Canelo, he has consistently voiced strong opinions on the importance of stricter punishment for fighters caught using banned substances. His stance dates back years, including in 2018 when Canelo tested positive for the banned substance clenbuterol. At that time, Holyfield went on record saying that athletes who use performance-enhancing drugs should not just be suspended but should face real consequences, specifically suggesting 30 days of jail time. His comments reinforced his belief that doping is not just a violation of rules but an act that undermines the sport's integrity and puts lives at risk.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally to cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat, he's not a cheater, I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. The problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, and some places in the United States, will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and this surprises me and bothers me because it had never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation and I trust in the end the truth will prevail." So far the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has also waded into the controversy, taking direct aim at what he sees as a glaring double standard in boxing when it comes to steroid use, especially in the case of Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather argues that certain fighters, particularly those with immense star power and marketability like Canelo, are granted leniency and shielded from the full extent of scrutiny. Meanwhile, others without that same stature face harsh criticism and strict consequences. According to Mayweather, this unequal treatment damages the credibility of boxing as a whole. He stresses that PED use is not only blatant cheating but also a serious health risk, and allowing such behavior to slide only erodes the sport's moral foundation.
What we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven?
No, been proven too.
This been proven.
Yeah. Oh, Canelo. Oh shit.
This been proven.
Lance Armstrong.
And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that it was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess you eating steroid cows. Man, these boys kill.
David Benavidez has thrown his own accusations into the mix, going so far as to claim that Canelo Alvarez and his entire team have used steroids. Benavidez questioned why Canelo would avoid fighting him if he were truly confident in his own abilities, especially considering, according to Benavidez, the number of positive steroid tests connected to Canelo's camp. His comments have added fuel to their already bitter rivalry, painting a picture of mistrust and suspicion. Benavidez has made it clear he believes Canelo's team is dirty, using past failed drug tests within the camp as his evidence.
When the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So, for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off of steroids. Everybody else that he's fought, he fought Amir Khan, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought, what the f is his name, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like, he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looked so good, because he was off clenbuterol. So with the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed he was
guaranteed he took it. He said that he ate meat that was tainted in Mexico.
Now let me ask you that question.
I've talked to people, they said for him to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had to eat.
The gym run by Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's longtime trainer, has been under a microscope for years due to repeated doping allegations involving fighters under his tutelage. Canelo himself has been linked to past steroid controversies, and critics often point to the pattern of multiple fighters from Reynoso's camp testing positive for banned substances. This has led to questions about both the training environment and the oversight within the gym. With Canelo now undergoing a rapid and noticeable physical transformation ahead of his fight with Terence Crawford, observers are watching closely to see whether history might repeat itself.
Serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old.
Many respected boxing analysts have noted that building substantial lean muscle mass naturally becomes far more difficult once a fighter reaches their 30s. Canelo Alvarez's latest transformation, appearing noticeably larger and more muscular than in previous years, has only intensified questions about how authentic these gains really are. Skeptics point to the doping history surrounding Eddie Reynoso's gym, which has seen multiple fighters test positive for banned substances, casting long shadows over its practices. While some believe Canelo's size could be the product of intense training, the timing, context, and past controversies make it hard for critics to overlook the possibility of other factors at play.
If I'm juicing, if for a 30-year-old, right, you remember, your body grows, men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, you know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. it gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan directly addressed the situation, referencing Canelo Alvarez's failed 2018 test for clenbuterol. Rogan discussed the ongoing debates over Canelo's physique, performance, and the transparency required in the sport. He argued that athletes have a responsibility to maintain the highest standards of integrity, especially in an era where public trust in sports is fragile. Rogan's comments have only added more intensity to the discussion, as many fans already view the current accusations as fitting a familiar pattern in Canelo's career, given his history with performance-enhancing substances.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak and is going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it, he's pretty much a billionaire.
Despite all the controversy, Evander Holyfield has also spoken highly of Terence Crawford's boxing brilliance. He specifically praised Crawford's raw power, lightning reflexes, and unmatched versatility. Holyfield highlighted Crawford's ability to switch seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances, keeping opponents constantly guessing and unable to settle into a rhythm. He likened Crawford's adaptability in the ring to life's constant need for adjustment, pointing out how it forces adversaries to think and react under pressure. In Holyfield's view, this unique skill set makes Crawford a dangerous and well-prepared challenger for Canelo.
Going left-handed and right-handed, how do you deal with someone like that?
Wow, I don't know, did nobody switch up on me about it. So it's hard for me to say, but I know life is about adjustment. You have to make adjustment. To be successful, adjustment is always going to be the difference between how far you going to go.
And this is the last one because I just thought of something. Obviously, Fury Usyk, a lot of people are talking about for undisputed. You know, you were a smaller guy, and you almost beat. A lot of people thought you beat Nikolai Valuev, who's even taller. Even taller than Tyson Fury. How does a small guy Usyk defeat a tall guy like Tyson Fury?
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer, has expressed unshakable faith in their game plan. He says their preparation for Canelo has been methodical and thorough, with no detail overlooked. While acknowledging the Mexican champion's elite skills, McIntyre is convinced that Crawford's adaptability and strategic execution will be the deciding factors in overcoming the challenge of a naturally bigger and stronger opponent.
He's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team, so you know the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There was many a time where he was maybe struggling to get certain fights, and then he had to almost kick that door down. Is it nice to see him sort of getting the fruits of his labour now and getting that generational wealth off the back of what is, obviously it's a hard career boxing, you don't get given anything.
Definitely that. Definitely good to see him get, like you say, fruits of his wealth. Get me fights that, again, will show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. Show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. I'm just happy.
Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, has also offered his perspective on Crawford's preparation. Walsh stressed that Crawford is not walking blindly into the challenge of facing a larger, more powerful opponent like Canelo. In training, Crawford has been sparring with significantly bigger fighters to adjust to the physicality and pressure that Canelo brings to the ring. Walsh believes this deliberate approach shows how seriously Crawford is taking the move up to super middleweight, ensuring that he is both mentally and physically ready for the task ahead.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build-up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything, you know, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing. You can see it.
NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal has joined the growing list of high-profile names backing Terence Crawford. O'Neal lauded Crawford's pinpoint accuracy, relentless determination, and technical mastery, predicting that these attributes will be key in neutralizing Canelo's power and ring experience. His support has only heightened the buzz surrounding the fight, with fans debating whether skill can truly overcome size and strength.
Talking about the one fight right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Who do you got?
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
This is the best ever.
Really? You think he's the greatest ever?
Yeah.
Over Ali, Muhammad Ali? I didn't know you were a big Terence Crawford fan like that.
You have to understand that there's eras, and in different eras, you can bring out the titles. Like, for example, Joker's the best big man ever.
Right.
And I don't like,
You put Joker over you as the best big man?
It's different eras and
Era.
different time. It's not my era, not my time now.
True.
It's their time. So he's the greatest big man in India right now. So I let the people decide who's that. But right now, Terence Crawford is the best.
So
and Floyd, but Floyd has never lost.
So how does Terence beat Canelo? Decision?
He's
Or
gonna knock him out.
he's going to knock Canelo out?
Yes, man.
So they're going to have the fight at the Vegas Stadium, Raider Stadium. You're going to be there?
I heard it was off.
No, it's back on.
Okay,
Now
yeah,
it's back
yeah,
on. It's
I'll
in
be there.
September 13th in
Oh, yeah,
Vegas.
I'll be there.
You'll be there. Front row? Front row?
Of course.
All right, cool. You're the...
Boxing analysts have pointed out a key difference between the two fighters' experience in the super middleweight division. Crawford is making his debut in this weight class, which presents unique challenges and adjustments. Meanwhile, Canelo has fought extensively at this level and holds all the major titles in the division. This contrast in familiarity could prove to be a significant factor in how the fight unfolds.
There's no Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer, but you haven't fought elite boxing.
Trainer Robert Garcia has noted that Canelo's recent performances have been less explosive than in his prime years. He believes this subtle dip in sharpness could open the door for Crawford to exploit opportunities. Garcia emphasizes that timing is crucial in boxing, and Crawford may be stepping in at exactly the right moment to capitalize on Canelo's slight decline in form.
Canelo, because it's a fight that most of the people don't give Crawford a chance because of the size, but he's got skills, man. He's got skills. He's got good speed, good footwork. That's why I do give him a chance.
You do give Crawford.
I do give Crawford a chance, of course. You know, Canelo's last few fights, you know, he does his work. He gets work done, but never does that little extra to please or to. He knows he doesn't need to anymore, so he's just comfortable enough with just securing the win. He became a businessman, and I think that could be something in favor of.
Many respected pundits believe that Crawford's adaptability will be the deciding factor in this fight. His fluid ability to switch stances mid-bout creates angles and openings that throw opponents off balance. This versatility allows him to control the tempo, break through defenses, and force opponents into mistakes. Against Canelo, he'll need to make real-time adjustments to deal with timing, power, and defensive counters, turning the match into a high-stakes chess game where every move counts.
Crawford, on the other hand, he has been walking down his fighters, and people don't see that but me. For some reason, when I had that tape, people were screaming cat. And it's like David Ebenezer, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Gamboa, a meme machine. Even against Madrimov, the way he won the fight was by fighting. It wasn't Floyd Mayweather sticking This guy has been too athletically gifted, and I mean explosive, hard punching, and too strong for his ops. When he's in orthodox, he boxes more. When he switches, he becomes a puncher. And now he's coming out southpaw. He ends you. He is not, you gotta watch him fight. He does do athletic things where his hands and his feet work together and he catches you for sure. But what he mostly do is he punishes and he bullies his op because he walks you down and whips your ass. He's an ass.
Do you believe Canelo Alvarez is using PEDs ahead of his fight with Terence Crawford? Should past doping allegations shape the way we judge a fighter's current integrity? The debate rages on as fans, fighters, and analysts wait for the night when questions will finally be answered inside the ring.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.